Now let's sit down. Let's relax. That's more than enough, you know that. Hello and welcome to the Jonathan Ross Show. So officially, this week, and I'm sure some of you are feeling it, is the most depressing week of the year. Was anyone feeling depressed this week? Yeah. Sorry to bring you down, but how long is this month? It's like the 39th of January already. But even so, as miserable as it is for everyone else, spare a thought for a woman in Essex, because she popped out into the kitchen to make a cup of tea, came back into her lounge to find this had been delivered. Apparently the guy was doing 70 in a 50s lounge. That's awful. Poor woman, she has her wall knocked down. Now I'm saying it's a crappy-looking house. It's a lovely-looking house. Still, on the plus side, she finally got to meet George Michael. So what a lovely thing, really, to happen. There's always a silver lining. There was a great list in the papers this week. I don't know if you saw this. There was a list of papers of things that people have left behind in hotel rooms. OK, and it's some weird stuff, of course. They found, and they're not making any of these up, they found a life-size Mr. Blobby costume, 100 Kate Middleton masks, and a hamster. That must have been quite some honeymoon, mustn't it? Can you imagine? In one room, they even found, genuinely, they even found a complete Santa's grotto with a model reindeer, fake snow, and a Christmas tree. Isn't that amazing? If I'd have checked in and found that, I'd have gone one step further. I'd have knocked through to next door's wardrobe, and when they opened it, gone, "Welcome to Narnia!" I've got the little legs. There's nothing more natural than the love between a woman and her kangaroo. Have a look at this. All right, there's obviously something quite unnatural about it. He looks like he's just won the Australian Apprentice, doesn't he? Look at that. He looks like one of those kids. Did you see this story? I love this story. I saw this story in the paper today. A Thai airline, a company called PC Air, has announced an exciting new recruitment policy. They're going to recruit more ladyboys to be air stewards. OK? Unlike most airlines, they're actually encouraging you to take a concealed weapon on board. It's a whole new... It's a whole new... Just wait for some of you. It's a whole new... I would. I think I have, the one on the end. The biggest shock on that plane, I imagine, is when the plane hits turbulence, because it's not just the oxygen masks that fall down in front of your face. What a great way to spend the flight, other, because you wouldn't need puzzles or a movie. You just be going, is she? Is he? Is she? And when you want to find out the answer, just press the button and go, "Excuse me, do you have any nuts?" Would you like to see something impressive, ladies and gentlemen? This will cheer you up. I like that. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, why don't we have that as an Olympic sport? Well, we can't, my friends, because that is the opening ceremony. Imagine that with Eric Clapton behind him, Catherine Jenkins singing, Boris Johnson dressed as a pearly king playing the spoons. Take that, Beijing. Let's see who's on the show this evening. We've got a great lineup of guests for you tonight. We really have. My first guest is the boy-stroke-man wizard himself. It's only Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel Radcliffe. I love Daniel Radcliffe. I tried to adopt Daniel Radcliffe. Daniel, are there really, let's just clear this up, there are really going to be no more Harry Potter films, are they?
Not to my knowledge. Not with me.
Come on.
Probably.
Surely, come on.
I think they finished. I don't think she's writing any more. I've asked her not to.
Look, I want to see more. You want to see more, don't you, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. I've got an idea.
I'll be getting a bit long in the tooth to be wearing a schoolboy's outfit in a couple of years.
Here's my brilliant plan. You saw the In-Betweeners movie.
I did.
Right? You, Ron, Hermione, Voldemort, head off to Lanzarote, go out on the lash. It's a whole new thing.
Yeah, Ron and Harry do Dallas.
Which wizard was Dallas? Daniel Radcliffe, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thrilled he's here. I love talking to Daniel. OK, well, here we go. My next guest is quite simply the world's greatest naturalist. He's the bee's knees, he's the monkey's uncle, hen's teeth. It's Sir David Attenborough. Sir David. So, David, let me ask you something before you come in. Is it true? I believe it's been claimed, not by you, but it's been claimed that you're the oldest man ever to go to the North Pole.
Don't know. Don't know. But it's a doddle going to the North Pole, I tell you.
What?
It's a doddle. It's a doddle. You get on aeroplanes, you get on helicopters, and then there you are.
Wow. Listen, I couldn't even make that noise, never mind go to the North Pole. Could you do it one more time for me? Wow. Sir David Attenborough, ladies and gentlemen. A hero of mine, and I'm sure many of you as well. My next guest is a comedian, he's an actor, he's a writer, a painter, a poet, and, you know, when I first saw his comedy, I didn't quite get him at first. I'll admit that. And then I grew to love his work, and now, in my house, we consider him one of the most brilliant comedians in the country. It's Noel Fielding. Noel Fielding, formerly of the Mighty Boosh, now of the NoelFielding.com.org. Noel has a very distinctive look. You do have a very distinctive look, because you're all in leather from head to toe today, aren't you?
Yeah, I thought I'd come as the modern-day Knight Rider.
You're completely leather-clad. I love the way David's looking at you. He doesn't know whether to talk to you or take you home in a jar. He's never seen one of that kind before. He's going, Alan, watch closely and see how it breathes. That's Noel Fielding. He's on the show, ladies and gentlemen. It's a packed programme. And also here tonight, for your pleasure, we have some fantastic music, incredible music. One of the best voices you're ever going to hear live. It's Seal. Come on. It's Seal. Unbelievable voice that man's got. I haven't seen you for ages. I've known you for about 20-odd years, haven't I, Seal?
Yeah, I think we first met at the Morgan. I think it was about 21 years ago.
21 years ago. So I can say, we haven't seen you for a long time, so I can say officially, long time no Seal.
Terrible, terrible.
What? I've been working on that for weeks. It's the only reason I booked you.
That was great.
It is the only reason. He's made Seal, ladies and gentlemen, to be singing live right over there. Great to see you again. Lovely to have you here. OK, let's get my first guest out, ladies and gentlemen. He is the fabulous Daniel Radcliffe.
Thank you very much.
Do you watch the movies back? You must have seen them all, but do you... have you ever had a Harry Potter afternoon and watched the movies?
No, I see them at the premiere, and then, if I can, I avoid ever watching them
You
again.
avoid them?
Yes.
When you hear the music, do you get excited?
My heart dies a little bit every time I hear it as a ringtone. but yeah, no, I don't... I think it would just be... It's, you know, it's like passing around baby photos of yourself, you know, it's not an enjoyable experience to...
The last day of filming, the last day, you know it's the last day, it's your last shot as Harry Potter, and I guess you do it out of sequence, so it wouldn't have been the last scene we saw, but it must have been a very kind of it's a momentous day, quite an emotional day, I imagine. What did you guys do to either celebrate or to mourn the end of that? Did you give each other gifts? Did you go out and tie one on? What did you do?
No, we had kind of a big night the night before, which was quite fun. But on the last day, it was just really emotional. I didn't really expect to get emotional, even though it was kind of 10 years of my life. But yeah, it was... I wept like a child as soon as we stopped filming. It was very, very strange to leave it behind.
Because you were 11 when you started.
Yes, and 21 when I finished.
Well, I can do the maths. Did you give each other gifts? Did you say goodbye?
No, not really. I don't think we did. I mean, yeah, I gave like a gift out to all the crew and
I know that Rupert gave you something, though.
Yeah. Rupert gave me a trumpet, which he had self-engraved. I don't play the trumpet, and I don't have plans to. But Rupert
if you do, you're ready to go.
If I do, I've got one. And Rupert, because Rupert is just slightly mad. He owns an engraving kit. Why wouldn't you? And so he engraves presents for like me, Emma, just random musical instruments that he found.
But that's a lovely thing because it's very personal and very strange and memorable.
Yeah.
What did he engrave on it? Could you tell us? Was it too personal?
Oh, no, I think it was just abuse. That's all he writes when he writes cards to us. And I don't think I can say it on television.
Can I ask you about the other big popular series in recent years has been Twilight.
Yes.
And, of course, Robert Pattinson was in the Harry Potter movies. Yes. He was in the Triwizard Tournament.
One, yeah,
he was Cedric. When he took that role, did he ask you your advice or did he speak to you about... Because he's just about to go into what's going to be a big life-changing franchise for him, or did you not touch base?
No, not at all. I mean, I literally... I was in New York about to do Equus, and I was on the West Side Highway, and I turned around and I saw this billboard, and I was like, "Fuck, I know that guy."
Cedric.
I hadn't heard of the Twilight books at the time. I hadn't been aware of that phenomenon, and so yeah, no, but it's odd. We have a very strange relationship now, where we basically only communicate through journalists. We haven't seen each other in ages.
So people ask you questions about each other.
Yeah, and we say because everyone assumes that we're kind of great mates, but I haven't met him, but he's a lovely guy. When I worked with him, he was
Harry Potter could easily destroy all those vampires, though, couldn't he?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Okay. So
yes,
let's
no question.
Where in the world? We're talking about the fans there, and I know the Twilight fans are mad for Twilight, and the Harry Potter fans are mad for Harry Potter. But where in the world are the fans the most kind of obsessive is the wrong word, but most full on?
Japan, without a doubt. They love Potter over there. I had my truest kind of Beatlemania type experience once when I was over there, when I was walking through a school corridor. I was visiting a Japanese school for a publicity thing, and I wasn't just hanging around. And I literally brushed a young girl as I was walking past her, and I said, "Oh, I'm so sorry." Boom! Just fainted. Just that I had brushed her and spoken to her was too much, and she fainted. And, you know, you've got to enjoy that stuff, because that doesn't last forever. Like, when you have a moment like that, you've kind of got to take in how cool and weird it is.
Well, you know, I knew that the Japanese fans were very, very crazy for you. And we found this thing, I don't know when you did this exactly, but this is, I think they were doing a TV show about Harry Potter fans, and they had you come out and surprise someone. And I don't know if you've ever seen this, actually.
Yes. No, I haven't seen it. I remember being there.
Went out on Japanese TV. Have a look at this.
Gryffindor, I think. Come on.
Yes. Come on. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you too.
You okay?
どうしたの?
She was, as you can tell, an incredibly sweet girl, and just completely, like, overwhelmed by the fact that she was meeting me, which is very strange. But when she met Rupert, she was obsessed with his eyelashes and his eyebrows, and she kept wanting to touch them.
I think we have that clip.
It's a very strange thing. I mean,
what did she expect it to smell like?
I don't know. The best part about that is, if you know Rupert, like, he cannot cope with that kind of thing. Like, he is so struggling to keep it together in that moment and still be the polite, nice person that he is, and not just laugh.
It's a good one.
They're amazing fans.
Here's the exciting news. Dan has a new movie out, a totally different movie, a tremendous movie called Woman in Black. The Woman in Black.
Yep.
It opens here February the 10th.
It does.
And I should, just for full disclosure, I should say, there's a kind of family involvement. My wife, the talented half of the relationship, she wrote the script.
She did indeed, yes.
So I'll get that out of the way, and then we'll cut that out and just promote it wholeheartedly. But it is great, and I wouldn't say otherwise. Why did you want to do this in particular? It's a very different kind of role to anything you've done before.
Well, yeah, I mean, and it's a great story. Ultimately, that's what attracted me to it.
What's the story? Remind us what the story
is. The story is about a young man who is a lawyer and a father, and whose wife has died a few years ago, and he's kind of had the life and the vitality taken from him after that passing. And he gets sent to do what is ostensibly a very boring, tedious kind of task. He has to go into this house and kind of organise the paperwork of a recently deceased woman. And as soon as he gets there, he starts being attacked and tormented by the ghost of a vengeful, hate-filled woman. And yeah, it's very frightening. And
you're not the woman in black.
I'm not the woman in black.
And we know I love horror movies. It's a scary film.
It's a scary film. It really is. It's a very beautiful film, a very scary film, and I think a British film which we can all be proud of.
And the big song and dance number at the end, I think, is a must.
When I got into that big tap thing, it's fantastic.